Just wondering how you feel after that game. Was going well for you at times, and obviously how you feel after the week that you've had.
Well, yeah, obviously disappointment really, and frustration a little bit because of the outcome. Of course, we're not here to come second, and we fought tooth and nail against a lot of factors to give ourselves a chance to win the game. Around the 70th minute, we had some opposition territory which was sparse for us, and we had opportunities to kick on. And that little sequence around 73 minutes, which around the scrum, the momentum changed. A couple of penalties, which we were on the wrong side of the penalty count, mainly around obviously collision and the attacking breakdown, and then they relieve a lot of pressure. And by then the wind had got up. It was very difficult to establish field position, and the game just sort of petered away from us. So yeah, a lot of frustration in that respect, but a lot of pride in relation to the guys and what they put into the shirt over the couple of weeks, and obviously dealing with the diversions and all the influences that are detracting from performance. So yeah, it's going to be there's going to be some scar tissue for a lot of those young players, but that will make them better players in the end.
I mean, by diversions, the issues going on in Welsh rugby surrounding lack of contract movement and embargoes on recruitment and such like.
Well, there's lots of them. There's availability of players. There's that. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses because I'm here to talk about the game. But you are very aware of comments in the press. We have a very large number of players that are out of contract. We're trying to resolve that as quickly as we can for obvious reasons. We contribute loads of players to the Welsh squad. None of those were able to come out due to the fixture list and obviously the Welsh programme. But I'd rather talk about the boys that are out here and what they've come. We obviously had illness to deal with this week, and myself included. But we've come here with what we've got. We've rolled our sleeves up and we've got on with it. And we pushed two teams hard. We were a little soft last week in relation to first half defence. We rectified that, and we were outgunned a bit today from a physical point of view, but we found a way to stay in the contest. So yeah, that's the overriding sort of 2-week synopsis really.
Thanks, Toby.
Toby, can you just go through the illness for us? Who couldn't play today, and what was the essence of it?
So an E. coli sort of issue. So myself, Simon Church, of head of conditioning from a staff point of view, Tim Jones from a staff point of view, from a playing point of view, Kieran Williams was ruled out early. Keelan Giles passed a fitness test in the warm-up today. Michael Collins was injured in the warm-up. His back seized up. Ruben Williams and Reece Webb were pulled out yesterday as we were leaving for the airport. Is that it? I think that might be it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That was for this week. There was a little bit of it around the week before, but we managed to get past that.
So the E. coli got you. I mean, you were well aware of it before you went.
Yeah. I mean, that was in Cape Town, so that's not related to being in Durban. We only came to Durban yesterday as part of our plan to avoid that potential. That was actually from where we were in Cape Town.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. You know, everybody wants to take positives out of it, but you will have gained something out of these 2 weeks, won't you?
Well, a lot of those we talk about a lot about, and every rugby coach talk about putting pride in the shirt, right, around your group and representing your people, both here and at home. And I think that a lot of those youngsters have done that. With young players, there's always going to be inaccuracy and part of it. They've got to learn, and no one's going to learn quicker than the sharp end being on a tour like this, for sure. Whether it's being away from home, manage some of boys have not been here before. Some people have not travelled very far before. So it's learning to be a professional, learning to produce at a high level, learning to manage yourself in the downtime, learning to all of those things that contribute to a performance. And yeah, for sure, they'll learn something, and they're learning what it takes to be a consistent performer at this level. So yeah, there are positives out of it. And you know, we're a little frustrated because it would have been awesome to get some positive reward, you know, on the scoreboard for that. But that's not what professional sport is about, and that's also a lesson for us to learn. The sharp end is the sharp end.
Yeah. You go into Europe now. I mean, you have this terrible period where you get all your players back and you've got to start integrating everyone again. It's never a perfect join, is it?
Well, not when there's, well, it's probably a bit easier when you've got 15 of them. So that might be a little bit easier. But no, for sure. You know, we've got a whole forward pack plus, and then, you know, obviously some significant players behind. Obviously, we picked up some dents from Wales as well. So, yeah, there's going to be a bit of sorting out to do for sure. This results ancient history. The change of focus probably helps us a little bit because we can, you know, bridge onto something new. But it's not going to get any easier playing with English champions, followed by the French champions, followed by Welsh derbies for sure.
Yeah, well, that's what you got yourself into, but it's a great opportunity. Is it true that you're staying out for an extra week to try to get the E. coli to take a couple more pounds off, or are you coming home straight away?
As I said to Simon Church, it's the sort of disease I need once a week. So no, unfortunately not.
All right. Look, thanks, fellas. Hope you have a safe trip back, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, Rob. Thanks.
Cheers.
Toby, Simon here. I was just going to ask you quickly. I thought it was a really gutsy spirited display from your side. And in particular, the Morgan Morris, just such a talisman. You can talk a little bit about his performance tonight and what he's been like for you in the group.
Yeah, I mean, he's a physical guy, and one of the boys bringing physicality from a carrier, as you say, and he influences games. He scores, and out last week as well, to be fair. You know, we're trying to groom him into a leadership role along with a number of others, and you know, his little group is Dowie Lake, Jack Morgan, Joe Hawkin, Will Griff, those guys, you know, so they're in that sort of future Ospreys group, which is awesome. And he'll have learned a lot about that today. I mean, we ummed and ahed about giving him the captaincy today, but because of the disruptions and what we've had, we thought we'd go with the old timer. But you know, it's good for Morgan to be out there, and he has to put his hand up both as a leader, and as he always does as a player.
Just lastly, how many players were you actually down to having available going into this game in the end?
Well, we bought 33 out here. Some of those were for experience only and weren't really selectable because it's their first year transition, and you know, you have to worry about here just to make sure if we got into trouble we could fulfill the criteria. So there was a few out. So out of probably the ones that we thought were selectable, we probably had 25.